In 2024, scientists discovered something living inside you that's never been seen before. Not bacteria, not viruses, not anything we've ever classified. They've been hiding in half the bacteria in your mouth this entire time, and science just noticed. Here are 8 creatures living inside your body that aren't human. Number 1, obelisks. You're carrying around brand new life forms right now. They're called obelisks, and they were discovered in January 2024. These are circular RNA entities that live inside bacteria in your gut and mouth. They're not viruses. They're not alive in the traditional sense. They don't fit into any category we've ever created. Scientists analyzed vast genetic data sets and found nearly 30,000 distinct types of these things, colonizing bacteria worldwide. The researchers literally described the discovery as insane, because obelisks had been sitting in publicly available data sets the whole time, completely invisible. Here's the strangest part. They're found in 7% of gut bacteria and 50% of bacteria in your mouth. That means, right now, as you're watching this, half the bacteria in your mouth are hosting these mysterious RNA circles. One case study showed obelisks persisting in someone's microbiome for over 300 days. And we have no idea where they came from. They don't share ancestry with any other known life form, virus, or viroid on Earth. Unlike typical viroids, their RNA actually codes for proteins scientists tentatively call oblins, which means these things are making stuff, and we don't know what that stuff does. Number 2, face mites. Right now, microscopic 8-legged creatures are living in your eyelash follicles. They're called Demodex, and they're arachnids, related to spiders and ticks. About 35% of people globally have them, but that number skyrockets with age. 50% of adults, 67% of elderly people. One study found 100% of adults over 18 carried them. These mites are 0.3 to 0.4 millimeters long, living head down in your hair follicles, feeding on dead skin cells and sebum. They actually serve a useful function by eating dead skin and helping clean your face. But here's where it gets weird. Demodex mites have no anus. They accumulate waste their entire 2-week lives and release it all when they die, on your face, and they have sex on your face at night. They emerge from follicles to mate on your skin surface, then crawl back in. You've been walking around this whole time, not knowing there are tiny spider creatures doing this. Most people have 0 symptoms. Some get itchy eyelashes or blepharitis. But the mites themselves are a natural part of the human microbiome, not related to hygiene at all. Everyone eventually gets them. They're just there, living, mating, holding in their waste until they die and explode. Number 3, bacteriophages. You have more viruses in your body right now than there are stars in the galaxy. Over 380 trillion viruses. Most of them are bacteriophages, and they're hunting. Phages are viruses that only infect and kill bacteria. They attach to bacterial cells, inject their DNA, replicate inside, then burst the cell open like a bomb to release new phages. You harbor 100 phages for every human cell in your body. And every single day, you absorb about 30 billion new ones. They're the most abundant biological entity on Earth, more numerous than all other organisms combined. And they're incredibly specific. Each type typically attacks only one species of bacteria. So you've got thousands of different virus types in your active phagiome right now, each one programmed to hunt a specific bacterial target. And here's the thing. They don't infect human cells, only bacteria, which means they might actually be protecting you by killing harmful bacteria. Phages in your gut help regulate populations of E. coli and other bacteria, keeping the ecosystem balanced. Phage therapy has been used to treat antibiotic-resistant infections when all other treatments failed. These viral assassins have been saving lives since before penicillin was discovered. But most people think all viruses are dangerous. Not these. These are hunting on your behalf. Number 4, Archaea. About 1 in 5 people breathe out methane gas, not because of what they ate, because of ancient organisms from the dawn of life living in their gut. They're called Archaea, and they're not bacteria. They're a completely separate domain of life, as different from bacteria as bacteria are from humans. Archaea were only recognized as their own domain in 1977 by Carl Woese. Before that, scientists thought they were just weird bacteria. but they're living fossils, more closely related to organisms that existed billions of years ago. The main ones in your gut are Methanobrevibracter smithii and Methanosphera stadmanae. They consume hydrogen and carbon dioxide produced by bacteria and convert them into methane gas. About 20% of people in the West are methane emitters, producing more than 5 parts per million methane in their breath. In Japan, it's 15%. In Southern Africa, around 60%. These archaea make up about 1.2% of your overall gut microbiome and 10% of the total anaerobic community. The relationship is mutualistic. Bacteria create compounds archaea need. Archaea remove excess hydrogen that would otherwise slow bacterial fermentation. It's a partnership. And 90 to 99% of detected gut archaea are methanogens, meaning they make methane. So if you've ever wondered why you're gassy, it might be ancient life forms from before oxygen existed in the atmosphere. Now they're in your intestines, making fart gas. If you're finding this interesting, consider subscribing. I drop videos like this regularly. Anyway, back to it. Number 5, fossil viruses. 8% of your DNA isn't human. It's the fossilized remains of viruses that infected your ancestors millions of years ago. They're called human endogenous retroviruses, or HERVs. About 98,000 ERV elements and fragments make up 5 to 8% of your genome. That's more ancient viral DNA than you have genes that code for proteins. Protein-coding genes are only about 1.5% of your DNA. Here's how it happened. Ancient retroviruses infected the egg or sperm cells of us primates over the last 100 million years. Those viruses integrated their DNA into the host genome. That cell produced offspring. The viral DNA became a permanent family heirloom, passed down to all descendants. Most of these viral sequences have acquired mutations and can't produce infectious viruses anymore, but they're still there, fossil viruses, preserved remnants from tens of millions of years ago, and some of them now serve important functions. One called syncytin is essential for placenta formation during pregnancy. Without ancient viral DNA, human reproduction wouldn't work. So you're not just related to your parents, you're related to ancient viruses that infected primates before humans existed. Everyone has the same ancient viral DNA. It's universal. You can only see it through genome sequencing, but it's there, written into every cell. A record of every viral infection your ancestors survived and passed down. Number 6, fungi. Right now, fungi are growing on your skin, in your mouth, in your gut, and you need them there. They're called the Mycobiome, the fungal component of your microbiome. The dominant genera are Candida, Malassezia, and Saccharomyces. Fungi make up less than 0.1% of your total gut microbial community, but they punch above their weight. They're larger than bacteria and produce powerful bioactive compounds. Malassezia accounts for 53 to 80% of all fungi at various skin locations. Candida is isolated from the mouths of 75% of people. Candida albicans colonizes 20% of women asymptomatically in the vaginal area. And Saccharomyces, the yeast you use to bake bread, is one of the dominant fungi in your gut. Most of the time you have no symptoms. Fungi are normal members of a healthy microbiome. Problems only arise when balance is disrupted. But here's something you didn't know. Malassezia on your skin produces the distinctive smell you associate with wet dog when it metabolizes skin oils. That weird smell when you sweat? Thank the fungi for that. And despite being a tiny fraction of your microbiome, fungi play a huge role. 3 out of 4 people have Candida living in their mouth right now. It's just there, coexisting with bacteria, feeding on nutrients, part of the ecosystem. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this, subscribing really helps out. Now, where were we? Number 7. Mites carrying bacteria. The face mites living in your pores don't live alone. They're carrying entire communities of bacteria on and inside them. It's a microecosystem within a microecosystem. Bacteria like Bacillus oleronius colonize Demodex mites, both on their surface and inside their bodies as endosymbionts. Scanning electron microscopy has revealed bacteria clinging to the outside of mites like barnacles on a whale. The mites are essentially buses, transporting bacteria from follicle to follicle as they crawl across your skin. When a mite dies in your pore, it releases all its bacterial passengers, and those bacteria can cause inflammation. 79% of rosacea patients showed an immune response to proteins from B. oleronius found in Demodex. So, it might not even be the mites themselves causing skin problems. It's the bacteria they carry. Researchers discovered Staphylococcus albus being transported by mites from one follicle to another. The bacteria produce proteins and antigens. When the mite dies, those get released. Your immune system reacts. You get redness, bumps, sensitivity. So, really, you're not just hosting mites. You're hosting the bacteria that are riding around on the mites. It's parasites all the way down. And most people who have Demodex, which is most adults, also have the bacteria. It's there. Nested layers of life on your face. Number 8, giant viruses. There are viruses living inside you that are bigger than cells. In fact, they're so big, scientists first thought they were bacteria. They're called giant viruses, and they include families like mimivirus, Pandoravirus, and Pithovirus. Mimivirus has a 400 nanometer capsid plus 100 nanometer protein filaments, making it 600 nanometers total. That's bigger than some bacteria. Pandoravirus is 1 micrometer long by 0.5 micrometers wide, bigger than some eukaryotic cells, the type humans are made of. When mimivirus was discovered in 2003, researchers initially mistook it for a bacterium because of its size. It's visible under a standard light microscope. You don't need an electron microscope like you do for regular viruses, and these things are genetically complex. Mimivirus has over 1 million base pairs. Pandoravirus has around 2,500 genes. That's more genes than some bacteria. They blur the line between virus and cellular life. Some scientists debate whether they represent a fourth domain of life. But here's the catch. Giant viruses only infect amoebas, not human cells. They're found lurking in amoebas inside your body, but they're completely harmless to humans. They enter the host amoeba, use their massive genome to hijack the cell machinery, replicate, and release new viruses. Despite their size and complexity, they still require host cells to replicate. So, you've got amoebas inside you. And those amoebas have giant viruses inside them, layers of life all the way down. And you'd never know unless someone told you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you.